to the Lituation Room. And we are back. Welcome back to the Lituation Room. And y'all, I know I say this all the time, but I really do well with the people who are on my show. And I just feel as though this was destined. Let me tell you a quick story. So, how the people do, you scroll through TikTok, aimlessly for 3 hours. And I just come on this TikTok of this amazing rapper who is embodying Queen Latifah. And I'm just sitting here like, ain't no way. So what does someone do? They go and stalk the rest of their socials because I am crazy. And I am so glad that I did that because now I have the honor of interviewing her today. I'm going to let her introduce herself real quick.
Yeah, hey, y'all. My name is Zhalarina. I'm a rapper, an actress, and I have a lot of nephews.
I'm telling you, the way that her accolades are sitting, the things that she's already done in her career is only getting started. I'm excited to just be a part of the journey. So let's go ahead and get started. So why? Like, what started this whole process? What started you to be a rapper, or was it you being an actress or a playwright first?
Oh, it was a rapper first. Music lover probably before that. My mom loves music a lot, a lot. Probably more than most things. And being raised by her, I also developed a love for music. And when I was 6, I told her that I want to rap, and she was like, okay. And I was very serious about it. And then now I'm rapping.
Shout out to
That's
mom.
the short version of the story. Yeah.
Shout out to mom, because mom could have been like, nah, sis, now.
Right. Exactly.
Let's go get that education real quick first. Yeah. But shout out to mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you remember the time when you first wrote your first rap?
Yes, I was 11 when I wrote my first full verse, and it was like 18 bars. My siblings still say it to me to embarrass me. It's the worst. Yeah, but I do remember it.
Do you want to get it?
Oh, I don't. Nope, I sure don't. I sure don't. I leave it to them to say it. I try to forget it every day.
Maybe when they hear the episode and see the episode, they'll just leave a nice little comment.
They definitely will. They definitely. I would be surprised if they didn't just record themselves rapping it and post that.
I will repost. Okay, I'm excited. What was the? Did it have a title for it?
Who I be? Like what?
That's the energy. Okay, yeah. She said I'm here. Would you like an introduction? Wait, what zodiac are you?
Gemini.
That makes sense. We love to see it.
I get so many responses to that too, because sometimes people are just devastated and I don't understand. Or they'll be devastated, but then they try to mask it so that I don't feel too bad.
I love Geminis. All of my close friends are Geminis. So
okay, all right.
It's fine over here. Ain't no lies. Okay. So obviously, when you started rapping, you obviously are multifaceted. So what was next? Was it the playwright or was it actress?
Probably actress was next. I doing silly stuff with my cousins and my siblings in the house, making up skits and playing different characters. And then, writing my first play was a class assignment. And then I just fell in love with it then. But it took a minute before I wrote my first play.
So what was your first acting debut?
Ooh, like real acting debut or like...
You can give both, because I think both are real.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good question. So I actually don't know my official first, like the first official, but I know that we used to play, oh my gosh, all kids played house, and some kids played house in ways that were not appropriate.
Mm-mm.
The non version of that was I had a like a small like skit in class where it was like a Black History Month
Mm.
type situation, and I was some woman fighting for freedom. She was a fictional character, like she wasn't like an actual real
Oh,
person
okay.
that had existed. And so that was probably my first official one, and then I guess the non-official ones was playing house, but not the inappropriate version of house. You
Right,
know?
right. No, no. We
Yeah.
understand. We got you because child.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yep.
I be hearing stories of people childhood and I'm like, oh baby. That is not
Hmm.
okay.
And that's why we have counselors, and
Yeah, seek
you
help.
know, yeah.
Maybe just a little bit. But okay, cool, cool, cool. So let's stick on acting real quick because
Yeah.
I just want to talk about it a little bit more because the
Sure.
stages that you have been on
Oh yeah, yeah,
have
yeah,
been
yeah. Oh, thank
legendary.
you.
So what came first? Was it New Amsterdam or was it Queen Elizabeth in London?
The Queen Elizabeth Theater. That was first. That was the first
Okay,
one.
so what was that experience? How was the process of getting there?
Man, so that was crazy. So that was, oh my gosh. So that was the Olympics in London. I auditioned for a touring ensemble that was putting together like a hour long show that was going to travel and tour. And on that tour happened to be the 2012 Olympic Games. And we didn't know that. There's also something that a lot of people don't know about, which is called the Cultural Olympiad. And the Cultural Olympiad is like part of the Olympic Games, but it's not like televised or anything. And that's like a lot of art events go down, a ton of stuff happens. And our we got booked for that, so we were one of the performers at the Cultural Olympiad, and yeah,
Cultural
that's how that
Olympiad.
happened.
Does that make you like an Olympian?
No, no, no. I wish we didn't even get to see any athletes, which was kind of sad. But
Boo.
yeah, I know that was like why I was most excited. But it was almost like it was. I think it was just two different parts of London, and the Cultural Olympiad happened like shortly before the games. So
Okay, well
some of them weren't there yet.
that's still amazing to go from like being obviously in the US and only doing things here to now
Mhm.
being an international superstar.
It
Love
was
that.
a lot
Okay.
of fun.
So, New Amsterdam, let's talk about that experience. What was the
Yes.
process of getting onto Broadway? Okay.
Yes. So same touring ensemble, booked Broadway. Maybe I want to say okay. So when we got the tour, when you became a member of the tour, you didn't know the stops. You didn't know what stops you were auditioning for, but you knew that like in the past they had really great stops. And so
Right.
we found out about Broadway after we found out about the Olympics, and we all lost our minds. It was insane. And so that stage, so the way broad, and this is, I don't want to speak about stuff that I only barely understand. However, Broadway is a street in New York, and then there are theaters on Broadway, and then there are theaters that you can perform in on Broadway Street. And
Mm-hmm.
so, um, our our show basically went up, in a week where I think Wicked was going up, Wicked the musical, as well as some other really ginormous play. Um, but yes, that was insane. It was insane to like go backstage and see all of the like signatures of like super famous people all back there. It was crazy.
I bet it was because as a Wicked stan,
Oh snap! Okay,
I would
you already
have
know.
lost my mind.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
sign me up. Where do I sign? Like,
Yes.
at this point.
Yes.
So, the crazy thing is, we're not even done, ladies and gentlemen. There's
Oh my
still like
goodness.
more to talk about. Can we talk about how you have a 2020 Chicago Midwest Emmy
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
outstanding achievement in arts, entertainment, programming for your autobiographical musical cinema series called The Light. What was the
Yeah.
process? Because obviously, congratulations first,
Thank you. Thank you.
but what made you want to start that? Like, what triggered you to start The Light?
So, I they kind of came to me and pitched the idea to me, they being PBS. And so
Mm.
the way that they even knew who I was that I wrote a 70-minute play where I play 7 different characters. And I had toured that to maybe 5 or 6 different cities. It was like a small, little humble tour. But it was also something that PBS Wisconsin had caught wind of and come to. And then after the show, they asked me, they were like, we would love to work with you. And I was like, all right, cool. How? And they were like, we have no idea, but we want to do it, sis. And I said, bet, sign me up. So um, we, I, we set up a meeting and I met with them that like 3 days later. And they said, whenever you come back, come with 3 different ideas for like just stories that we could tell with you. And one of those 3 was the story of my family, which is an insane story. It's ridiculous. It's got way too much going on, and they love that one the most. And so we got to work on that, and it was going to be something much larger than what it turned out to be. But they came to me maybe halfway through the process and was like, "This is great, sis. We don't have the budget, the staff, the many things to make it. We bit off more than we can chew." And I said, "Okay."
Right.
And they were like, "But we want to leave you with something. So why don't we do this like small series where we tell a part of the larger story of your family?" And they wanted to go with the story of like when I fell in love for the first time, and my mom was like, "Nah," and then changed my school, and it was a whole thing. And so yeah, and then they submitted. You, I guess you submit to the Emmys to be considered, and I didn't even know they did that. So I got an email when they were like, "Hey, you've been nominated for a Chicago Midwest Emmy," and I was like, "I didn't even." Okay, bet. So now I'm Emmy nominated, which is huge in and of itself. I
Right.
would have been super happy with that, and then we won, which is crazy. So yeah,
Oh my
I
gosh.
have a really
So,
pretty little trophy now.
oh my gosh. So there's a larger story besides the
Oh yeah.
story. Are you ever planning to release the larger story?
Yes, yes. So that is in the works. That story is being written in full right now, and we're pitching it to larger networks.
Love to see it. Love to see it. I'll be there, front and center. Money's ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so obviously with TikTok being so successful for you right now, with good
Mhm.
yawning, with everything, honestly, because your TikTok's booming.
Thank you.
What was the moment that you were just like, oh shit, like this is, I'm viral. Like people are seeing me.
Man, hey, listen, I can tell you the exact moment. I was minding my business, and I was posting videos, just continuing to share my little raps with the let me not
Come on,
talk
not love
about my
raps. Hold on.
share my bars with the world, you
Okay,
know.
okay.
And I went to because I had like pulled an all nighter to finish the video on time because I was trying to like stay consistent with the schedule that I was keeping. Went to my dad's and just was like he was like working from home, and I'm like sitting on the floor next to him, and then I look at the phone, and I had gone up from 26 TikTok followers to like I think it was like 60. And I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, hey, y'all, look, this is kind of cool. And they were like, oh, that's awesome. Within the hour, I had reached 1,000. By the end of that day, it was like 10,000. And and I was like, this is uncomfortable. And yeah, so that was the moment when things shifted. And then maybe 2 weeks later, another video went viral on Instagram. And so then that started happening. So yeah, that was cool.
Do you remember which ones they were? Or were they the
Yes.
same ones?
I thought it would be the same one. The one on TikTok was the first verse to a song I have called "Who Want It," and that's actually the first song on the album. And then the second one, which went viral on Instagram, was me rapping the third verse to my song "Tampa," which is the city I'm from. So yeah,
I'm so glad you brought up Tampa. Let's talk about it.
let's do it.
As someone who's never been to Tampa, I
Okay.
clearly have no jurisdiction to be saying this, but you make me want to go to Tampa.
Hey,
Like
good. That's the
it's
point.
a vibe. So let's talk about this song. What
Yes.
is the vibe that you wanted to give to people when they listen to Tampa?
Yeah, I mainly made it for. like I made it with people in Tampa in mind, to where that like if they heard it, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is like she is from here. She is one of
Right.
us." And that meant that the sound that I chose was going to need to be specific to Tampa. So I chose to make a beat with my friend that was reminiscent of a kind of like subgenre that's in Tampa called crank. And
Mm.
cranking is it's a dance, but then there's like music to crank up to, and it's like a
Okay.
specific kind of sound. And so I wanted a song to crank to. Essentially, I wanted a crank song. So that's the beat that you hear. We took a Cab Calloway song and sampled it and made a
Okay.
crank beat out of that.
I'll let us see it. I love when artists take their hometown and kind of twist it. Because I'm from the DMV. I'm from DC. So,
Okay, okay.
go is through and
Yes.
through my life. So I love when artists from here will spin go in their own way. And
Yes.
I think that that's the reason why I gravitated to your music so well, is
Mm,
because you're able to flip things and still make it yourself. I
mm,
think that's why, Good Yawning and everything is popping off for you right now, because
thank you.
especially with you tapping into the artist, obviously you sound like the artist, you look like the artist, but the words are you. Like, and
Mm,
you can still see yourself
mm.
through that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think that that's so incredible. And the way that you're so personal in your music, it just,
Mm.
even if you're not, obviously, like I said, I'm not from Tampa, but I still resonated with the song. I
Dope.
may not know your story, but I still resonate with things like Mama and like
Yeah.
all the songs, because I went that the discography, sis. I
I'm
did.
so honored.
But
Yeah.
but like, I think that your journey is so special, because it's like I haven't heard someone like this in a while. And I
Mm,
feel like I've listened to a lot of music, a lot of genres. I flip flop.
yeah.
And that's why I feel like I gravitated to you, because you're different, but obviously you're tapping into things that have existed, but again, you're flipping it to yourself. So I'm
Mm,
super excited to like continue on with it. But you have your debut album
yes.
coming soon. Let's talk
Yes.
about it. It's called Again.
Whew. It's called again.
All right. So
Yes.
why the title? Why again?
Um, at first I had no idea why I wanted. I had an idea of why I wanted to name the album again, but it was a loose idea, and as the album came about, it became clearer to me. There's a song that I wrote called Again that's on the album that I tried to capture the full meaning of it in that song, and so there's a lyric in that song that says, "There's relief in giving up, but I don't need it." And that's sort of like the, yeah, I would say if the album had a catchphrase, it would be that. And so, yeah, again, represents a lot. It represents the beauty and holiness of repetition. It represents, um, continuing to try despite every given obstacle, again, despite every, weapon prospering. And it's also like the fresh start that comes with doing something again. And so yeah, I love it. And I was a student athlete, and I grew up like working out a lot because that was like our punishment growing up when I was a kid. So I fell in love really early with practice and repetition, and how that like creates mastery and excellence. And so yeah, again.
The lyric took me out. The way that I needed to hear
Mm,
that today. Like,
dope, yeah.
I'm so excited for that track. I'm so excited for the project. So, how many tracks is it so far?
14. 14,
Ew, love
yes.
that. Okay, 14 to sink
Yeah.
my teeth in. Love that. Okay. Do you have an idea of when you'll be releasing it? You know, I had to
Yes,
ask.
of course. Yes, September. September, and most people have the full album already if you're on a streaming platform. There are some songs that haven't been released,
Hmm.
or some tracks that haven't been released, and the goal is to like what you will receive is a couple extra tracks, but then also like remastered or better mastered versions of what's already out in the world.
I love that.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So, obviously, as a woman in hip hop, I feel like that is its own battle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you think motivates you and keeps you going to, keep the theme of Again alive? as
Mm,
being a woman in, an industry that typically it's starting to get better, but obviously,
hmm.
in the past it's looked down on women and thinking that they can't write music, they don't have
Yeah,
bars. So like what keeps you going and fueling your creativity?
yeah. I think as much as I've known that, and as much as I've been affected by that, I've I've always been really excited to be something that was going to be different that people enjoyed, even though it was different. So it was
Right.
like I was excited to have a different, I guess, look or content, than what was being, given the big deals or given the big opportunities. Because yeah, it's just I don't know. It's there's never I guess there's never been a moment for me where I've felt discouraged by the idea that a lot of people who are successful that look like me don't sound like me or don't, dress like me. Like
Mm-hmm.
that hasn't been a source of discouragement for me so much.
Because there's no other option.
Yeah, like what am I gonna do? Like I could be sad, and that just feels pointless because I love how God made me. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
I'm chill. Yeah.
I love it. I love the energy. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a cute fan girl, and y'all know. Because it's just the more that I'm hearing you speak, the more that I can just see
Mm,
what you just said. Like I can see there's no other option. I can see that this is
yeah.
not a game for you. Like the love is in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it resonates in your music because if you didn't love it, people could tell.
Yeah.
So,
No, for real. Yeah, that's true.
with your process, what's the first thing when you write? Do you have a theme or does it just come to you?
Um, I usually try to stick with the theme just because I can be really distracted as a person, and so I need to like at least make a decision about the subject that I'm gonna write about, and then from there I try to just kind of let it flow. The writing process for a lot of people like when they hear this, they're like, "Oh, for real?" Writing is nearly excruciating for me,
I
and
understand
it's
that.
I love it, but it is a birthing process every time, and so that you're laboring and you're becoming frustrated or feeling just like you got to walk away from it or take a walk or like all these things, and it's a labor, and that usually happens probably for I mean, I've taken a year to write a song before, and then I've also written a song in like a couple days, like a week. And so, yeah, usually start with a subject, then write. Sometimes, most of the time, I write without the beat, but I've started to like write two beats more recently, and then
I'm not even surprised by that because when I be working, I be like, no, I gotta take a break. And sometimes the best things come from letting it exist for a minute,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
coming back to it. That's when a lot of things just click.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised. Love that I'm not the only one.
Oh goodness,
Love
no.
that. Okay, so as your journey continues, I'm a big person about manifesting and bringing things into
Mm,
existence and speaking them to God, whether you believe in that or not. But
yeah.
we manifest on this show. So
Mm,
where do you see your artistry going in 5 years? What
mm.
where will you be? Not like I'm going to be doing no no. I am already doing it in 5 years.
That's interesting. I'm new. I manifesting the concept of manifesting is so interesting to me, and I'm new to it in the sense that I don't know much about it, and so I'm not familiar with the languaging of it. That's cool though that it's like no, it's already happening in 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and what is that thing?
Right.
Um.
That's how I see it. People
Okay.
say it a little differently. Like I know people are always saying like I'm going to be doing this, but for me it's like
Mm,
it's already set in stone because
it's a
God has
reality.
made it set in stone.
Mm,
Right. So it's like
yeah.
I am on air. I am working on blah blah blah. Like it's already happened. I just have to say it out loud.
Wow, that's kind of cool. Yeah, just. I mean, I'm a lover of Jesus, and I think to be what that means is that I believe that God is sovereign, and God's sovereignty just means that it's like it's all it's yeah it's there's not much I can do about His will. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
it's gonna
right.
happen.
Exactly.
So then what? But it's tricky too because it's like I know that my plans have always been not as good as God's. You know.
But that's the crazy part. Like sometimes, like for instance, with this podcast,
Mm,
I the journey that I've had with this is I wasn't going to do it.
okay.
But one of my friends and I were sitting down and I was just like, you know what? In 3 years, I'm going to have a dope ass podcast and I'm going to be able to say that I've done something. Like I've made a difference. Like I
Mm,
even manifested saying that I'm going to have a concert. Like the concert's already going to be done.
mm,
And now it's crazy because the concert that I had in mind was 10 times less than the concert that I put on this year. The people that I've
mm.
impacted, like the reach that I have, is 10 times more than I manifested. So
Yeah.
obviously, God has his own way of
Right.
making it
Yeah.
happen. But just saying it kind of gives God like a, okay, I see where you're going. I'm going to go here though. But
Yeah,
like,
for
she's
sure.
cute, but it's not enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's usually what happens, which is that doggone Emmy, man. I was like, what? That was not on my bingo card, Jesus. Okay. So in 5 years, a Grammy, a second
Mm,
album, a tour that is both national and international. And this is the big one. This is the one that means the most to me is the tuition for all of my nephews covered. I have 8 nephews, and so they're all babies right now. And I'm in 5 years, I want like to cover all their tuition for college whenever they go, whenever if they want to go.
it's already done. It's
So
done. That's so beautiful.
yeah.
I love that. So when it happens, I'm gonna just refer back to this.
Okay, we got it on record.
The minute that I see you on the Grammy stage, I'm gonna be like, here you go.
I appreciate it.
The
Thank you.
minute that I see tuition paid, there it is. Tour. As soon as I see the tour dates, I just am gonna sneak this in there, see if I can get a little backstage pass real quick.
Oh yeah, one
You
hundred
know,
percent, 100%. Thank you. I
it's
appreciate
it's
it.
already happening. I'm so excited for your journey. I'm gonna keep saying this. I think that what you're doing is so needed right now.
Mm,
Your honesty, your vulnerability in your music, I feel like people can resonate with it a lot
mm,
more than, the current state of hip hop, the current state of the world. And I think
mm,
that's what sets you different. You're able to take those vulnerable moments that some people would be like, I'm not telling nobody this, but you're
yeah,
giving it to the world. You're giving a
yeah.
piece of yourself. And I think that because of that, you're going to be so successful.
Thank you.
Obviously, your flow and your bars are fire too. Like, let's not sleep on that. Like,
Thank
y'all need to
you.
just go and hear the tracks. Come on. Go on TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music. Go buy it.
Literally
Don't
everywhere.
even
Yeah.
just stream it. Go buy it.
Thank
Go
you,
buy.
man. Thank
But
you.
I'm super excited. Like, I can see your name already. Like,
Mm,
everyone knowing it. It's not going to be no problem that people don't know how to pronounce it. They're going to be doing that all the time. You know
yes,
how they be
that's a
doing to
prayer.
Rihanna? They be calling her
Yes.
Rihanna, like all the things. No, no, no.
Yeah.
It's going to be to the point where I'm gonna be like, dang, like she did it. Like, period. Let us see it. Had nothing but faith. Knew it was gonna
Thank you.
happen.
Thank you,
So
man. That
to
means a
close
lot.
up, what is one thing that you want to say to people who this is their first time meeting you, first interaction?
Oh,
What is
okay.
the first thing that you want them to know about you?
Oh, I want them to know I would give my life for them. Yeah. Which is a wild thing to say. The more I, because it's all like it's something that's if you know me, you know like that's my friends. That's not surprising to my friends. They're like, oh, Rena being Rena. Um, but to say it out loud and to mean it, it's like I feel the weight of it every time I do, and I do mean it, and I think I want everybody to know that.
You gonna make me cry on
Yeah.
this podcast. And it's crazy because all these people go see me cry. Because like it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like I be saying the same thing.
Oh
Like
wow.
especially to like obviously I say it to my friends and close friends, but it's like to people who listen to me, who take the time to play an episode, take time to follow, take time to repost, like that means something to me, especially to the
Mm,
people who have no knowledge of who I am. To
mm,
think that I am worth the hour or 30 minutes to listen to what I have to say,
yeah.
that means the world for me. So it's like
Mm,
sometimes people will be like, hey, like I'm going through something. Like, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I
mm,
just need an outlet. And I'm sitting here like, I got you. Like, what's going on? Mind you, I have
absolutely.
no idea who you are. But I
Yeah.
feel like if you're willing to hear and to see my passion and to be a part of my journey, I'm obviously going to be a part of yours. So
Mm, that's what's up.
that's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Okay. Before I start crying, where can everyone find you on socials
Yes.
and how to stay up to date with you?
Yes. So you can find me everywhere in terms of the socials at Zhalarina, which is Zhalarina. My mom created the name, so I have the beauty of not having to worry about my name not being taken. So if you type my name in, you'll find me there. And then on all streaming platforms under my first name as well. Um, yeah, I'm trying to make sure. Oh, and then at Zhalarina.com. Yep.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yeah,
This
thank
isn't going to be
you.
the end. We're going to have more discussions, more
Okay, yeah, we'll
talks.
just check in every once in a while. That's cool with me.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm with
You
it.
and guys, you already know, follow us over at Instagram at the Lituation R Pod, Twitter, Lituation RMP. You know, Twitter don't like us. They don't want us to, have the same name.
Oh,
Or you can just go to our website. Everything's there, www.thelituationpodcast.co. And I will see you guys in the next episode.